What's going on? In this video, I'm going to explain to you why being average is a lot harder than being above average. Hit the subscribe button to get more content just like this. While you're there, you might as well hit that like button too, just because it's like right there. It's like right in your face. The reason why being average is a lot harder than being above average is because you have a lot of people that's average, right? The people that are above average, we know about them. We hear them, we see them, because they're doing things that are above average, so they create and cause a lot of noise. And so, let's say, for instance, if you want to open up a coffee shop, like right now I just had a cup of coffee, right? Now, there are thousands upon thousands of coffee shops, right? But what's going to differentiate yourself to make more money than your competitors? What is it that you can focus on in the coffee shop business that's going to differentiate your coffee from everyone else's coffee? Now, you can think about this in multiple ways. First off, if you're going to open a coffee shop, you may want to open a coffee shop in an area where there's a lot of foot traffic. You don't want to open a coffee shop where there is no foot traffic and nobody's walking down that street, right? So you got to think about also where the beans are coming from, right? Who has the best soil? Who has the best environmental conditions for a coffee shop so the beans taste well? Then you got to think about how the coffee is roasted. If the coffee is roasted with a process that is like everyone else's, then you may just be in the average bunch. However, if your coffee is roasted differently from everybody else, then your coffee may just do that. It just may be an outlier in the coffee world. There's another thing to think about too, which is that when you think about how some coffee shops do it, right? They'll open a coffee shop, they'll go to their local coffee place, wholesale place, and then they'll buy a bunch of coffee and they'll just brew that coffee inside their coffee shop. Now, does that differentiate your coffee shop from everyone else's coffee shop? No, because everybody can do the same thing. So I think my question here is that thinking about ways to differentiate how you approach your business, right? Focusing also on what is it that you can do to have big impact in your business. You know, for instance, in real estate, anybody can pretty much qualify for an FHA loan, right? All you need is 2-year tax returns. You gotta have good credit, right? You can get your credit up, and you gotta save at least $15,000 to $20,000 for a deposit for a house. Sometimes not even that, maybe $5,000 or $10,000 for a deposit for a house. Now there is a cap on the type of homes you can buy, right? So it's a 4-unit building, and the cap, I believe, is at $1 million. So you can't exceed $1 million. It can't exceed 4 units. You could put down 3.5% going FHA. Now, the limitation is that it's $1 million. The limitation is that it's 3.5%. Now, let's say, for instance, you want to go above that limitation, right? You want to do deals that's 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. So, therefore, the rules change. What does this mean? It means that you have to put down, instead of 3.5%, you got to put down 20% plus closing cost fee. So let's say you do 20% of $10 million, you got to come to the closing table with $2 million cash in your bank account, cash, ready to go. So now the next question is, how can I get the 2 million, and then how can I get the 8 million to close on the deal? Well, you got to look at what is it that how to get this $2 million, how to get this $8 million. So as you think through that, you got to think about, okay, the other $8 million is coming from a bank. What is it that banks are looking for that will allow them to give you a loan? Yeah, you got to study that part. You got to dissect that part and then put the conditions together to be able to have a bank approve a loan that's $10 million. Obviously, if the deal is $10 million, that means that it should be worth $15 million or $20 million, but you're buying it for $10 million. That's a value add. Then you think about, okay, once you figure out the qualifications that a bank is looking for, you have to think about the qualifications for the equity, the $2 million part. Okay, then you got to think about, okay, how can I raise $2 million equity? Well, that's the standard. That's your new standard. That's your lens. Then you got to figure out, okay, who do I know have $2 million? What is the proper way to raise a fund or some sort of syndicate? We got to study, how do I start a syndicate? How do I get the money for the syndicate? You have to identify people that have the fund, that have this type of money. Once you do that, then you figure out their formula, you start talking to the right people that have this type of money. Now you see what's happening here. You're thinking through how to do these things. This is another level of thinking in people that are getting approved for 3.5% for FHA loans, right? Another like the ways in which you think about it is different. So that's the frame of mind you got to get into. Got to go big or go home. Till the next time, take care.